infinite enjoyment. Podcast for the ages. All you other podcasts more boring than pages. Make money off of Patreon, not a slave for wages. DMT, free your mind, break away from cages.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Infinite Enjoyment podcast. This is the 5th episode. Quintagraphical,
That's
some might
unbelievable,
call it.
actually.
I mean, we're off our vacay. You know, it's been like a month since the last one came out, but we've been doing some shit. Especially, we've been doing shit in Berlin.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Now, we don't have much planned here. This episode is going to have more minimal editing than usual, but that shouldn't deter the listening experience at all, I'm sure.
Oh my god, Torsten. That's
Um,
unfortunate.
He's pouring some sort of drink. I have no idea. But yeah, William has told us that he has an ASMR introduction for us with his new microphone. Yes. So,
Seriously. Yeah, you might. In the final edit, this is probably going to come off as pretty jarring. But yeah, I have a microphone that was bought specifically for this podcast. But for now, I'm just going to use it for myself because we still want to keep the 3 mic setup.
Yep.
Hold on. How do I switch the mode here?
all right, technical difficulties, gang.
Have a drink.
Yes.
Go to the bathroom.
Yes. Here we go. Yeah. Hello. Welcome to the Infinite Enjoyment podcast. This is way harder to do with people here. I mean, it's kind of hard to do in general, but yeah. So we'll be talking about Berlin. We'll be talking about microphones. We'll be talking about beekeeping.
You're like switching from each side.
Beekeeping mic.
You know, take all the time you need. You know.
Yeah. So yeah. Welcome to the pod. Fuck you.
Strap in. Okay.
All right, you should have done some like loud sipping noises though. I'll be honest.
I could just hear the fizzle from my drink. Yeah.
Banging.
Okay. Like I don't want to like devour this pastry, so you know we're gonna have to share this.
Yeah.
Pastry on the table.
It's a pastry on the table. It's
Brilliant.
pistachio.
We'll be enjoying that.
I like how you're like the audio description guy. There is a pastry upon the table.
You are
Yeah.
in a White House. In a white room.
You have been eaten by a grue.
We're in a big city. It's raining. Take off your dress.
It was a dark and stormy night.
It's a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking past 13.
It was a bright, dark, cold, hot day in April. Sad, happy.
In LA. CA. Anyway.
We're already losing ourselves.
Yeah, okay.
And we're losing our audience.
This is not going to be like the first episode. We're going to talk about something here. We're going to talk about something tangible. Because realness, from January 11th to January 16th, we were on the history classes trip, the class that we are a part of, to Berlin.
Which we funded ourselves already. But yeah, brilliant.
I mean, sort of, like, to an extent.
To an extent, yes. I sold flowers and yeah. I
We
mean,
were-
where do you really start with this?
Yeah,
There's a lot of angles you could approach it from.
We could
Yeah.
start with where we left off in sophomore slump, right? Because we discussed it.
Yeah,
Which
we
was
did discuss
Which was
that.
really the pre-Berlinification episode.
Yeah,
This
the plan
episode
leading
is, of
up.
course, Berlinification.
I mean, I think back then we definitely thought it was going to be more restricted than it became.
Yeah, because I was listening back to that episode and we were talking about like all the restrictions on alcohol and that just.
I mean, there truly weren't
Hold
any.
on.
I mean,
Are we allowed to discuss that?
Let's just say we can discuss it obliquely.
yeah, I mean, this isn't school affiliated.
Well, yeah, but if they do find this podcast.
You know how soon we're going to graduate, right?
Right, but you know, yeah, true. Yeah.
Nihilism. This is what I call. Yeah. What does that call it? Optimistic nihilism.
Optimistic
but
nihilism.
in specific context of this school.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was a restriction to like having it in pictures. That was like the one rule. But
Guys.
other than that, like when we were done with our thing for the day, we could just like fucking waste away.
Hey guys, this entire podcast is actually a joke. By the way.
Yeah,
I know we have a
none-
policy of sincerity, but that's on
of this
hold
is-
for the next hour or
Yeah,
so.
none of this actually happened. Do not investigate.
It's not even that. I mean, it was all legal. So
Yeah.
it's fucking Germany, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
You, Phil Spies, watching this.
I know you want to.
I know who you are.
I know you want to send me an email right now, but I'm like way ahead of you.
Only you can hear this part of the podcast. Cease your investigations.
No. I know.
Oh, Berlin catchphrases. That's another.
Oh, true.
Well,
we can bring up the Berlin catchphrase.
Yeah, we've got a certified. I mean, this was a true source of inspiration. This whole trip for our, in-joke catalog. So we've got a whole list of that.
Do you have it with you?
I have it on my phone, which I'm also using to record this. So that's.
You can do it simultaneously.
That's. Oh yeah. All right. Let's.
Sometimes I have pulled up my notes while recording though, and then I got like an ad, and that stops the recording. But.
That's bizarre.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but effectively, while we were on the trip, especially on the first day of the trip, we just came up with loads of catchphrases based on the huge amount of sensory information we were taking in.
Yeah, because remember, Berlin is the center of the totality of all of existence and humanity.
Yeah, it is the most exciting episode in history ever.
Yeah,
the most exciting episode in all of history.
just the urban environment just fucking rocks my entire body.
Yeah, it's just like Half-Life for real.
It's just like Half-Life. I mean, we landed there and we met ourselves at home. We had some pizzas, and the weather was really bad the first 2 days. So then we just ran some laps to the Brandenburg tour, which is truly like a spaceship in human form.
Oh yeah.
A spaceship, yes.
Yeah, and you should edit in the clip of us presenting at the Brandenburg Gate.
Yeah.
As Tom Scott.
I am here at the totality of human existence and the center of the world. That is what the Brandenburg Gate was christened in 2022 by our dear friend, Reddit user Totezi64. Yours truly.
So.
Then we went to some underground Holocaust museum. I couldn't really take it in because my sneaker was undone. That was a common theme,
Yeah, for some reason Berlin just causes Torsten's forces to become undone. And it started happening to other people as well. So that's one downside to Berlin, but that's about it.
I mean, it's just the massive energy contained within.
It's like the whole city's just vibrating the whole time,
Yeah, the city's alive. Yeah.
Just like California,
Yeah, it
Yeah,
vibrates.
famous city.
It vibrates at a frequency of 432 hertz.
Oh yeah.
The fundamental of all existence.
Now that's
Yeah, Post Malone, Psycho, set to 432 hertz.
Yeah.
That shit got me crazy.
Slowed, reverb.
Perfection.
Slowed but not pitch shift.
Perfection. Transcendent aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, I mean...
Oh yeah, the list of in-jokes. We forgot about that.
Yeah, the list of in-jokes. We're going to go through that.
Alright, I guess we can use that as kind of a timeline. So the first one we have really was when we were on the plane, and Torsten said, if it was the 60s, we could smoke in here,
Yeah. I really wanted to smoke.
And then as soon as we landed, Torsten just said, this is a bad area.
To everything.
Yeah,
the
we
airport.
were on the, what was it, the S-Bahn? I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the S-Bahn, and we were just
Yeah, we were
going into these suburban towns, and he was like, this is a bad area.
Yeah,
And this one was also a bad area.
Yeah, and it was kind of insane. I guess, they did look kind of dismal. It was raining and, this is, bad architecture. But yeah, I don't think it warrants calling each of them a bad area.
It's a horrible area.
Horrible area.
I mean, it's just something funny about it, being a suburban dad.
Bad area.
Saying, I don't want you to go there, son. It's a bad area. I'm divorcing your mother.
I don't want you to go anywhere. Everywhere is a bad area.
Yeah. Do you have the list?
I've got it up, man.
What's more suburban dad phrase?
Oh yeah, I forgot we were going to do it.
Yeah.
I lost in the song.
They really need to put a light there because it's hard to turn.
Shout out to anyone who gets that reference.
So what's the next?
Right. As soon as we landed, people were making some dark humor jokes. So I think we said, okay, that's the first Holocaust joke. And I think we got up to about 6 in the end.
Yeah.
But there are many more, I'm sure.
Actually, but one of the Holocaust jokes was actually the Holocaust joke. I don't remember what any of them were, except for one time I responded to something that wasn't really a Holocaust joke with the Holocaust joke thing.
Yeah.
And so I realized then, actually, it's still correct, because, in fact, me calling something that's not a Holocaust joke, is in itself a Holocaust joke.
Oh man, that's ontological.
So the number could stay the same.
That's crazy. That's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. One of them was definitely on the plane. Oh yeah, the plane there, was like a very thin plane, very small.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a budget flight. You know, it was
Yeah.
2x2 seats.
This is a
you know.
bad airline.
Just really like crammed. Then the plane back home was like totally reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the first plane was unreasonable. It was just
Two.
it was instead of 3 seats on either side, it was 2 seats on either side.
There was less space.
Which, I mean, if anything, that makes it more like a private jet. Is how you could think of it if you're an optimist, all right?
Yo, that's good. That's that's optimistic. Oh yeah, we had to get at the station early in the morning. Stockholm Central Station.
That wasn't a problem to me.
To get on the Arlanda Express, and then NAA left his bag on the train.
Yeah.
And so that was
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
That was a minor ordeal. But it was that was
fun.
Yeah, that was good vibes, just being at the airport in the morning. It's very vibe that I'm very familiar with, but
Yeah.
oh yeah, and also the Max. The Max was the first meal of the trip.
I hit up the Max.
Mm-hmm.
I was really thirsty, and I got a Coke off someone for free.
Mm. That's just like
I don't remember who it
that's
was.
just Christianity at work, you know.
Yeah.
Judeo-Christian values at work here.
Yeah. I mean, of course, then when we got ourselves ready after the Holocaust Museum there, the person and I, we went to this Asian fusion place
Yeah.
where I ate ramen. And the thing is, that might sound boring, but I never eat ramen, so that's like a novelty to me.
Wow.
Yeah, you're not a college student, you know.
Soon I will be.
Oh yeah. When you went to that place, you were walking, and also I was walking with Ayn, I think,
Yeah.
in the same direction. And I think we thought that you guys thought that we were following you.
No, it was well, that was after we went to the pizza place for lunch.
Oh yeah, pizza, the car video.
Oh yeah, I did briefly mention the pizza place, but I didn't mention the car videos. It was fucking hilarious. There was this like huge TV where they just played like various compilations of like Beamers and shit.
Like this, they just played like music videos, but the music videos they didn't have people in them. They just had like car ad footage.
And then it became people though. Then it became like clubs and you know
Yeah.
some ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the other one was just some guy driving a car.
It wasn't even driving it. It was just panning around like a parked car. this epic music over it. It's
Like-
bizarre.
It's just this. It's like David Foster Wallace said. We don't want things to be quiet anymore. You know, they could have just ditched the TV entirely and just had like a nice vibe. But no, of course we're having to have this big ass thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it's good for sports games, but otherwise, it's just why is it there?
Yeah.
Thing is, I mean, it alleviates some of the awkwardness because you no longer have the awkward silence.
And also there were ads.
Yeah.
Except that some of the ads were just more car video.
You can't tell.
Das Auto.
Just more car songs that were played as ads.
I mean, that's also where I had the first beer of the trip, and it got me like tipsy somehow, probably
Mhm.
because it was so early.
God damn.
And so, I guess what you could call a catchphrase as well is that we kept repeating this whole thing about the totality of existence and center of humanity,
Yeah.
which is Berlin in general and the Brandenburg Gate in particular for several reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Torsten, you're the one who came up with this, right?
Can you tell that
Someone
story?
asked me what it was, where the center lied, and I was like, it's in Berlin. And the reason I feel that way is just because, you know, it's this like big place where everyone likes going. There's like something for every walk of life. I mean, Western history in the past like a ton years. Just I mean,
Definitely the past 150 years.
we're just tied to
Yeah.
that
Geographically,
place.
Geographically too.
it is like
between
pretty
east
mu-
and west.
pretty much in the middle of the European peninsula, and it's just like most important country in Europe, and most important city in the most important country in Europe.
Yeah, it's not just this history nerd stuff as well. It's also like a center of like art
Yeah.
and architecture and
Bauhaus.
culture and so many other
Yeah.
things.
Bauhaus was Weimar.
Clubs.
That's like I've been talking
Yeah.
about.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, I don't know. Like Swedish teens, like love Berlin.
Yeah.
It seems, and I love it too, of course. But everyone's like, "Oh, we went to Berlin. We're going to Berlin."
Oh
Yeah. Like it's cool. It's cooler than some exotic places. Because
Yeah, because it's like a real place.
yeah.
A real thing happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't
And
matter.
I mean, I've decided that it's my favorite place to travel, just because it's like so close. Traveling there is like no fuss at all, and it's just like a dope place to be in, and it's so big, so you don't really get tired.
It's kind of like the New York City kind of Europe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd probably say so.
That'd be pretty accurate.
I mean, you could make a case for like London or Paris, being that,
Boring.
but I'm kind of like sick of those. Berlin is where it's at.
Yeah, London and Paris are kind of over-romanticized, and also like their importance, their day in the sun is kind of past.
Yeah,
Our place in the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, don't Japanese people get this like thing in their heads when they go to Paris? Paris syndrome, or whatever it's
Paris
called.
syndrome, yeah. They
That's
go.
interesting.
Well, it's undebated whether it actually like exists on a large scale. But yeah, the idea is you go to Paris from Japan and you're expecting it to be this fantastic place, and you go there and it's France.
Oh, is that
So you become suicidally depressed.
Is that what it is? It's like it doesn't live up to your platonic ideal of what Paris is supposed to be.
Yeah, and also it kind of just there are some things like hygiene, especially because it's it's France, it's Paris, a European metropole, that it just sucks way harder than anywhere in Japan.
I mean, if
there's
you're used to Japan,
there's some
then
pretty
yeah.
great things about Paris, obviously.
Yeah,
it's a great place to go, but it is a city.
Yeah,
like
a city.
It's real shit. It sounds like this like fairy tale country.
Yeah.
This is fairy tale country.
Oh yeah, that's a good segue because the next quote we have here is Arab country. So you need a bit of context for this. So
This actually goes way back.
this actually goes back to like DP1, way back. Well, M10 really.
M10, yeah.
So Torsten, being Swedish, pronounced Arab. Pronounced some words wrong. He pronounced Arab as Arab, and he pronounced country as country. So those were. And he made those mistakes for about a year before we told him, like, hey, dude, it's actually pronounced country.
I immediately changed country to country, but I kind of insisted on Arab for a while.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like that's a stereotypical like American thing to say.
Yeah.
Arab. But then also for what you also said Arabic a lot.
Yeah.
Arabic.
Which I guess makes sense because in Swedish you always stress the second syllable most time.
Yeah, and that's
Arabis. Yeah.
Arabis, yeah.
Arabis. And so we combined that Arab country with some patriotic slogans like "Love it or leave it, either you're in or you're out." And then just for some reason, Arab country, you know what to do.
I mean, I was kind of cooking that one up. I was like, when we land in Berlin, I'm gonna be like, "All right, boys, this is Arab country. You know what to do." As if it's like enemy turf or something.
They would work really great as like bumper stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the great. That's a great catchphrase.
Yeah.
To be clear, we have no ill will towards Arabs, of course.
Obviously not.
What do you mean, typically? I mean, we still don't. It hasn't changed. What? Wait, go on.
Yeah, I'm just saying this is in infinite jest, of course.
And on endless
A
jest.
fellow with infinite jest.
And at some point, Torsten was saying, "I need to get these to a tailor because he had a hole in his pants." And apparently, that wasn't much of a catchphrase, but
said that
I
a few
wrote it
times,
down.
But
Yeah.
I guess it just sounds like a rich person thing to say.
Well,
I
not
need to get these
really,
to a tailor.
because you do get your clothes to a tailor if you want them fixed,
Yeah.
but you can just throw them out or buy new ones.
That would be the truth.
Or get them from the thrift shop.
Your compliment was sufficient, Lewis. Torsten, could you read out the ground rules? Some ground rules.
All right, some ground rules. Have fun
And do drugs.
and do drugs.
Right.
Basically, when we landed, when we came to our hostel, and we like made ourselves familiar with the room. I was just like, okay, boys, some ground rules. Have fun and do drugs.
Right. Establishing order.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess I don't know if this is on the catchphrase list, but it was definitely a very prevalent concept. The smell.
Yeah.
The smell
true.
with capital T and capital S.
Yeah.
The smell.
The smell.
It is written.
Basically, like our room would get a like manly musk.
Yeah.
Because we were 7 men in one room.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like, I don't think we each had anywhere to like put our laundry is the thing,
No.
and also a lot of it was a lot of it was wet walking around all day, just combined into this. So if you left the room closed with the window closed, it would just become unbearable for visitors as well as us.
Yeah.
Which would become a problem on the later nights when there would be get-togethers in one of the other rooms.
Get-togethers, parties, or as we call them, jamborees.
Yeah, so we had to basically keep the window and, to some extent, the door open as much as possible, which did alleviate it. Yeah, I think, but it would also make the room pretty cold.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely happy about like getting to get the gang together and hang out and shit. We didn't do it like as much as we could have, but we did it on like 2 occasions.
We did have some.
And I'm just happy to dip y'all in the sauce.
Yeah, dip us.
Yeah,
dip you in the real person sauce.
It was a good time, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it was about as good as it could have been.
Yeah, and the jamboree.
Yeah, always the sad sack.
The jamborees were pretty good.
No,
too.
that's a positive statement.
Oh right.
I
don't know. It sounded like.
Oh yeah, sad sack. That came a few times.
No, that's good because obviously I'm, anything could always be better. So I'm kind of being overly optimistic when I say something like that.
It was just the tone.
Yeah.
Sad sack. I guess that's just the thing that I like to say.
About me.
Your tone,
Pretty much. I don't appreciate you, Phil. Yeah. Something we should bring up is what is Berlinification? Well,
oh yeah,
you might have heard of the Red Hot Chili Peppers and their song and album Californication, right?
We pull it up. We pull it up.
Very commercial.
We can pull it up after later. But I mean, Torsten, how did you come up with the term Berlinification first? Because we started using it a few months ago, really.
Okay, so originally it wasn't even about Red Hot Chili Peppers. It was like Portlandia, that comedy series about Portland, Oregon, and me thinking I should do a comedy series in Berlin. And then I would call it Berlinification.
Indeed.
And then it just like got its own life when I added Californication by Peppers to the Berlin playlist.
Yes.
And I was just like, this is funny as fuck, Berlinification.
Yeah.
Berlinification.
Yeah. And you were getting into the Chili Peppers at this time as well.
Oh yeah, the Berlin playlist.
And so
we never played that. It was just like a fun thing we had.
Yeah. Paul
To
Boswell.
like create hype.
Yeah, Paul Boswell made this playlist for Berlin,
I think it was
which we added.
from Abby's account,
Abby
actually.
made it, but it was Paul's idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just added all these Berlin-related songs,
Including Erica. Erica was on there.
Yeah, thanks, Yara. And Californication, which was just funny because it was, not about Berlin at all.
It's about California.
And so we started.
It's Hollywood.
We rewrote the lyrics to Californication to be about Berlin instead, and
We did do a little test run of that. Then Eddie came in and I just said, "Oh, you missed Berlinification." Or a rewrite of Californication. He was like, "Oh, I love that."
I remember when that was back in the earlier phases when I was very concerned about noise. I got over that eventually because I mean we wouldn't leave anyway. Nylons and nylons.
Yeah, I mean that didn't really end up being a problem, right?
Yeah.
I mean most people at the hospital were just like Australians.
Yeah, they were chill.
Caring about fuck all.
Oh,
because there was supposed to be a policy of no noise after 11 in the hotel.
Nah.
And nope. We thought we were being too loud on the first night. Nah, man.
Oh yeah.
Probably the quietest one.
What is this?
That's rhubarb.
Is this any good?
Number
I'd say
3.
so. Yeah, number 3 for sure. The Avix Twin.
On the Selected Ambient Works.
Volume 2.
Shout out to Richard D. James.
Shout out to him.
Yeah. Okay. What's the next? Do we have a next thing?
Yeah, of course. Well, we've just been focused on Wednesday the 11th so far. We could really move on to the next day by now. I think we've covered Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Hump Day. That's what I call Wednesday. That's for some reason.
No affiliation with the Netflix series. Although I would like to manifest that I will be dating Jenna Ortega in the next month.
Exactly.
Anyway, so I mean, we could go through it chronologically. Of course, on the Thursday, we
second day.
we went to Sachsenhausen.
Oh yeah, Saxony House.
With a very agreeable tour leader.
Oh yeah,
tour guide.
Johnny.
Johnny, yeah.
Johnny, yeah, he was a great guy.
Great guy.
Great guy.
I said to Paul, like, most tour guides are pretty dry to me, but that guy, I was like, he could have been my friend. And Paul said, yeah, I almost wanted to ask him if he wanted to go out for pints. But I didn't.
He added like just the right amount of levity to
exactly.
visiting fucking Sachsenhausen.
Yeah.
In case you're not aware, that is like very famous concentration camp within the territory of Germany itself.
Exactly. Very close to Berlin.
Yes.
But just outside of it in Brandenburg.
Oranienburg. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny that like while we were walking past, Johnny had to point out that a bunch of the houses had like a symbol in front of them. I think it was like 2 crossed pieces of wood.
Yeah, painted like orange, I think.
Yeah, and so he had to clarify, no, that doesn't mean that a Jew lived here and was murdered or whatever. No, it just means that they're against this fucking zoning ordinance.
It means that they're against like a new bus path, I think.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking NIMBYs, but you know. NIMBYs.
Small town politics.
Yeah.
Fuck cars.
Fuck cars. I stand with Ukraine.
Buses.
Slow Ukraine.
Slow Ukraine.
Anyway, like, after some, sitting in our rooms and shit, there was karaoke night.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
That was yeah.
To balance out the horribleness of the rainy concentration campy vibe.
Yeah. And this is where I think we came up with
one of our theories.
Yes, seesaw theory or like
seesaw theory, exactly.
I don't know if we called it that. I think maybe we had another word for it, but the idea was of a seesaw, like a trampoline or something.
I'm not sure what this is a reference to.
It's his idea that the beginning of the day is inverse to the emotion at the beginning of the day is inverse to the emotion at the end of the day.
I know what you're talking about.
So like if the day starts with depression, say Sachsenhausen or just in general, then the day will end with a high stakes jamboree to cancel everything out.
A good time, some would call it. So, in this way, they balance out in a way.
I mean, it didn't exactly happen like that. The second jamboree was on the last night, right?
Well, that was kind of a bummer, right?
Well,
that day.
How was that day a bummer? We just chilled, and I did work.
I guess it was just mid, I think. Well, not mid, I guess it's Berlin. Nothing's mid in Berlin.
We had Riem Gemüse.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing mid in Berlin, there's only Mütter.
Well, haha. Mittwoch.
Mittwoch. That's only the middle of the week.
Midweek. I realized that is just Humpwoch.
Wait, no, yeah.
That wouldn't make sense. Hump week. Which should probably be like in the middle of the month, I
guess. The whole week is Wednesday.
Mittwoch alle Tage.
That sounds like something that would happen in the Monument Mythos. Just the entire week becomes Wednesday.
Every day Wednesday.
Wednesday anywhere, Wednesday everywhere.
Yeah. And I mean, we were down at this, hotel bar. The little microbrewery. We cashed in our free beer samples.
Yeah, and Paul Boswell was very clear. We are not buying you a pint. This is free. This is complimentary off the hotel.
Yeah,
hostel.
I bought myself a pint, so that's.
Yeah, I mean, why would that be expected?
Oh yeah, and I believe this is where Death Note really started.
I mean,
because you drank beer.
Yeah, and I asked for money from you, right? I used your card.
Yes.
And then I removed you from the Death Note, I think.
The Death Note.
So I think you got off it. But
you paid.
But overall, drinking basically.
Drinking. I mean, I had my samples. I had some other people's samples. Laura was just like, "Hey, Torsten, do you like beer?" And I was like, "Yeah." She just gave it to me. Girls really don't like beer. A lot of them in our age.
Right.
And I mean, to be fair,
I mean, you don't like beer either.
I don't like beer.
No sexism.
That means I'm a woman.
It is kind of a strange concoction. Like, I guess it's like how I used to react to rice pudding, where it would be fine, and then once I drank more of it, it would get more and more gross.
I mean, it's grain based.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tastes like you're eating grass or something. No.
Of course, it's just liquid porridge.
I guess. I mean, Clara's dad described it in the best way. It's liquid bread.
That sounds good though.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah.
Nice like liquid bag.
Maybe liquid like brown bread.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't like brown bread. Maybe that. Maybe
Well, like
that's
brown,
why.
as in like brown, or like that like sweet bread that they have in Sweden. Is it skånsk?
Oh, it's like knäckebröd.
No, not that. They come in like these like kind of roundish loaves, and they're kind of smooth on the outside, and they're sweet. I don't like them very much.
But yeah, I mean, girls they like wine, they like cider, they like booze.
Well, I liked wine. I think when I tried it in Berlin. So
I don't know. All the alcohol I had was just like bad tasting in my opinion. Probably not on the alcohol. Like it probably tasted fine to people who like alcohol. Just
yeah,
I mean, you could tolerate it.
I mean, it was your debut, right?
yeah, the karaoke night. If you can reverse back to that.
Yeah.
That was like my first time actually like properly drinking.
Yeah.
Which is
And
fun.
You don't have to like get the first time you drink it. You probably won't. You know, like most people just like grow used to it. So like.
Yeah, fun. Yeah.
Well, the taste for it.
Yeah. And can we talk about some of the standards that were played at this event?
Yes.
Yes.
Because it was a karaoke night. It was a lot of modern pop songs. Which I'm not against.
Mainly pop songs from like the last from 10 years and before.
I would throwbacks.
Yeah, because those are the ones that really work.
Yeah, hauntological.
Like I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how about y'all, but to me that's like etched into my mind just because it's like.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. People play it on the radio as contemporary for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean I was most familiar with some of the songs due to their Minecraft parodies. From my childhood.
Remember Mr. Brightside?
No, not that one.
When did Mr. Brightside have a?
No, I'm just saying that would be funny if it did.
I'm
sure
it
Mr.
exists.
Minecraft.
Oh Christ.
But yeah, DJ's got us falling in love again.
Yeah.
I mean, with that song in particular, the Minecraft parody is like more famous than the original track. So.
Interesting, right?
Be gonna lie. I mean, it's probably in the UK. It's like pretty famous, but I mean, I don't think it popped off as much elsewhere. On elsewhere, the Minecraft version definitely popped off more.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and alongside that, me and Torsten, we took the liberty of Torsten had this brilliant idea of doing not Where's My Mind, Here Comes Your Man, the much more upbeat Pixies song.
Yeah.
That went great, I think.
But it's easier to sing too.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just awesome. Like, yeah.
That really hit, I think. People knew the song. They enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Overall, it's pretty
Just
brilliant.
Like me for
We had loads of the people from the school going up, especially like the Bohemians went up in groups.
Yeah. I joined them for Dancing Queen and the Swedish pop classic Jag kommer.
Oh yeah, speaking of joining in, this is another concept that didn't have a phrase, but the man.
Yeah.
That guy.
Oh yeah, the man. Yeah.
He was it with Dancing Queen?
No, it wasn't on Dancing Queen.
Was it before that?
It was a song. Yeah, I think it was Mr. Brightside. Yeah.
He was like, "This is my song. I have to go up."
Yeah.
It's like legally required.
I have to make company with these like 4 teenage girls and just sing Mr. Brightside.
He just ran up and fucking took the mic.
I mean,
Yeah. Big energy.
Yeah, that's
big energy.
That's wise of him, I'd say. I'd say
Nihilism.
Yes. Okay. Why do you keep on in nihilism?
Nihilism.
New catchphrase.
I agree. I'm a nihilist. Ein at some point had like a girl on each arm whom he just met there.
Oh yeah.
and he did make out with one of them.
Yeah.
Oh
good
yeah.
on him.
Yeah. So while they were standing, there, one of them put his hand on her breast.
Yeah.
I remember they were just talking to him. I don't even remember what they were really talking about. I think they just found his accent funny.
Probably.
One of them was Asian, one of them was white.
Yeah.
and I think was it the Asian one?
I think it was the Asian one
Yeah,
who like
yeah.
dragged him up to the room. And
And they started making
made
out. And like, we thought in our rooms that because there was a jamboree going on, that someone was having sex because the noises were actually quite graphic from what we could hear.
Graphic noises.
Yeah.
And
when Ein got out, he was like completely unfazed.
Yeah.
And we were like, at this point, we were having a jamboree in the girls' room. As party, pretty much. And so Ein came in at that point.
And everyone celebrated him. And Astrid offered him, a holy condom.
Yeah, and then we pushed him out and told him, okay, now you go and have sex. And
he didn't do that.
Well,
he didn't. I think he had. I think he was reading the situation that he'd just been in, and was like, okay, she doesn't really want to like have sex with me. She said, he said, I don't think she's taking it that seriously.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, fair enough. It's still quite an achievement.
And I mean, casual sex, in all honor, right? But like, it is like kind of a big step to have sex literally a half an hour after you met.
And I also went up and sang with Paul Boswell, I think.
Yeah.
What did he sing?
They sang,
Those
were the days, my friend.
What even is that song? I haven't even looked it up.
I don't know. I guess it's some old drinking song.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean,
it was a really weird moment.
At first, Ein and I were going to submit a song that he wanted to sing, which was Ain't I Right, the American anti-communist song and pro-Vietnam War song. I think, to be fair, I don't think the karaoke woman would have been able to find a backing track for that.
Yeah.
And two,
that would have not landed.
Well, I think it could have landed if you like I just stood there like an MC, like, this next song has been selected by my friend here, who is from Vietnam. I think the reason why I'm giving that context will make sense in just a second.
I don't know. I think the irony there would probably be missed.
Probably. I mean,
I imagine a lot of people there.
I'm getting a little lucky there. Kind of made for a embarrassing situation later when we were on the balcony, and this was like on the last night when we were talking about how no one had gotten lucky, and I said, well, I got pretty close, and then they thought they said that I got pretty close, so we had to settle that.
Like, no, that's not what I mean.
Yeah,
I would never do such a thing.
Damn, yeah. I mean, shit. And that was just a fun time. We just we went up, we talked a little, we listened to some music.
Yeah, good times.
When are you talking about now exactly?
Post karaoke.
Post karaoke.
So always karaoke.
You talking about the jamboree?
Yeah. Ouija board, getting outside.
What was the time that we went outside?
What?
Which was the night that we went
outside?
outside?
That was karaoke night.
That was karaoke night.
Yeah, we went. Yeah.
So we went back to our rooms, right? But then the Bohemians actually continued their jamboree and went outside, and then two of them threw up in a bush.
Yeah, that's what they had done the night before.
Oh, they'd done that the night before.
And they were like, "Oh yeah, here's the throw up."
Yeah, they pointed it out to us, and then
back to the same playground that they went.
I don't know. They had like kind of weird manic energy, and we just like bouncing around the different playground attractions.
Yeah.
Like that spinning contraption.
Yeah,
it was a big hit.
Holding on to that for dear life.
Alive. And the bag of snacks that was there from the previous night, and they just picked up off the ground.
Yeah, it was like still lying in the like the spinning thing. What do you call it? Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Like in 2021, which was when I like actually started like hanging out with people.
Mm-hmm.
I know, big whoop, right?
Whoop, womp womp.
And that's when I like had this realization that when you're like alone, or you assume there's going to be this like inherent magic to hanging out with other people. And sometimes there is, but like on the base level, it's just like hanging out with some people and doing some bullshit.
Yeah,
and that's almost like better.
Yeah,
because that makes it more tangible.
But also, exactly.
Yeah, so
it's not this completely mythical thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Project X. It's just like I'm with some people.
Yeah, and I don't want to like start talking about the entire lo-fi discussion here, but like I think that's kind of related. So basically, in the group chat for this podcast, I was talking about lo-fi hip hop at length for no reason, and part of my observations were that lo-fi hip hop, it tends to like create a very like romanticized image of like intimacy, and they try really really hard to like perfect the exact fucking engineered like vibe they're going for. But I mean, it doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't have to be complicated like that. I don't think. You can just hang out with some friends and have that. Just let it be that.
Yeah.
On the one hand, it is kind of a letdown because it means it's not as good as you thought it was. But as you said, it makes it more of a real, tangible, attainable thing.
I mean, really, it's just like being separate from it. So kind of forming your own platonic ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of build up the separation in your mind.
Yeah.
You separate yourself from it in a way.
As Slavoj Žižek said, why be God in this battle between now and eternity? The true wisdom is to find eternity in the fleeting present pleasures. It is wise.
Isn't this just like another way of framing optimistic nihilism, though?
No. It's saying like you can
finding your own meaning.
Kind of, but he's saying you can like find your own platonic ideal within things that actually exist.
I mean, that's basically my entire shtick. Like, yeah.
So don't go out and try and find a platonic ideal. Just sorry, I touched the microphone. Let something happen to you, and then just have that be the platonic ideal.
Yeah. Like in Perks of Being a Wallflower when they're riding around in the car and he's like, we were infinite. When really they're just riding around in the car.
We were infinite and we were jest.
It was you were the infinite jest all along.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that title, I don't know if I've ever said this to you, but it comes from, Hamlet, where he picks up the skull of the jester, and he says, a fellow with infinite jests.
Yeah. I knew it was from Hamlet, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Alas, Horatio.
Yeah. I mean, there was this, like, really cool bottle of some vodka, really ornate, that we used to spike some shit, and then we had it by our window. And then they crashed it off camera.
Yeah, that was on the next night, January, which
go
we
down.
were not a part
That
of,
was the
just due to
worst night.
circumstance. That was the worst night.
But here's the thing, like, a lot of the time they were just, like, down there in the lobby, like, talking.
Yeah, which was a shame because we were upstairs,
said-
like, waiting for them to arrive.
And I said this thing about how, by that point, when I found them, I'd, like, already made this idea of my own isolation in my head.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
So it had already become kind of a bad night.
Yeah.
So it was too late
So it's
to
too
change.
late. Hold on. I need to mention. I just remember something about the previous night. The going outside night. On that night, they tried to set up a bunch of like games.
Yeah.
But then it was like kind of like we all had collectively had ADHD because none of them lasted for more than like 90 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, that's just being, like, drunk and shit.
Yeah. So first it was like.
Also going into how life is not a movie. Like, you don't
Yeah.
have, like, a solid scene.
Exactly.
You just do something and then kind of move on.
Exactly.
No, but like this was like
Just kinda
too
keep
quick
going.
to even like do the actual game. Like the Ouija board thing
Yeah.
lasted literally for like 2 minutes, and then we moved on to the drinking game.
I got so drunk that night. That's, like, the most drunk.
so wasted, man.
No, but, like, I really did. That was the most drunk I've ever been.
Yeah, to be clear, to Phil Spires, we are talking out of our asses here. We don't know what it's like to be drunk at all.
We're making all this stuff up on the spot.
I'm Amish.
We're just
This is-
this is collaborative fiction.
Yeah, this is improv actually. It's
Yeah.
it's creativity.
It's all performance art.
I was, like, on the floor and shit.
Yeah,
Just, like,
On the floor
slithering.
laughing.
that's some good prose.
Yeah, that is good.
You were drunk as shit, man. Yeah. And it confirms the theory, that was a good night and there was a bad, or at least kind of a depressing day due to the historical events. But then the next day was agreed to be a good day.
Yeah, I mean, we were walking in Berlin with our man Nathaniel Flacken.
Yes.
Wrote the book Revolutionary Berlin.
Oh yeah, the leftist guy.
And he was showing us around on the Rosa Luxemburg tour, which
Yeah.
is basically a bunch of like apartment buildings where she lived.
Yeah.
But it was, it was pretty.
And a bunch
cool
of
to walk.
stories about it was kind of a postmodern narrative structure
Yeah.
where we talked about he talked about the date like months leading up to her dying first, and then talked about the actual rest of her life after she had been killed.
Yeah.
That was purely for geographic reasons because.
But he also said it was to make it not depressing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
In a way, it's kind of a reflective of how we learn about historical figures.
And we were with this it was us from ISSR and like this just random group of people that were there that then kind of just dispersed at some point.
They just kind of left after her death.
And two of them just like lit up like the weed.
Yeah,
They had weed?
Yeah.
They had weed.
They had weed.
Dude was like rolling up like a thing, and I was like, okay, I guess it's like tobacco or something. But
no, it was definitely weed.
you said it was weed, Torsten.
I saw it and I smelled
mean,
it.
I trust you as the authority on this sort of thing, because you have never been in the proximity of it.
Well, I have.
We're talking out of our ass.
It's never happened.
PH weed. Get it?
Weed?
PhD.
PH weed.
Drugs HL.
I have a PH weed.
Drugs
Therefore, I
HL,
am
that's
the
just
authority.
chemistry. Technically, it's the study of matter.
In
I
general-
think of it as the study of change.
In general, there was just like a buttload of weed in Berlin. Like I smelled it everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
This is a bad area.
That's fair enough. Yeah, because they smoke it.
Explains.
Yeah, they're balling in Berlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So, where are we in the narrative here? You're talking the leftist guy.
We're really on.
That was a nice walk.
the
That was a nice.
13th.
Yeah.
That was a nice day. But then, when we came back, there was no jamboree. We were completely isolated from. We had just moped around in our room.
Yeah, there was just all we found was just like when we came home, there were like a bunch. All the Bohemians were like running out of the room,
Yeah.
like dispersing, and then I just found like this broken vodka bottle in the trash. I'm like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
something's happened here. You know?
Something's fishy around here.
And the thing is, like throughout the whole thing, except for a few moments, Yar was like really hard to communicate with. I found.
Like, in what sense?
Because he was like, both because he was doing things, and because he was like, let's be real, like kind of wasted.
Mhm.
I know you're listening, Gary. Shout out.
Shout out. I mean, I hope you're listening. That'd be great. Send this to him. Only you can hear this part.
I mean, I don't know if that came by all, but I felt like in several occasions that I wanted to talk to him, and he just kind of wasn't there mentally.
Yeah.
And he was like drinking for the better part of it.
Wait, was this night the Rosa Luxemburg night?
Yes.
Was that the so that was the night that there was no jamboree? But then isn't that also the night that we went outside?
What do you mean went outside?
The going outside to visit the throw up spot.
What?
The vomit spot.
No, that was that was karaoke going
was
outside.
Thursday.
That was karaoke night?
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yes. I've got a whole timeline here that I wrote down after the fact.
Yeah, I got so wasted that I'm completely losing track of time.
It's a hangover.
The shitty night was after we had been at an Indian restaurant, and I had made myself friends with Clara's father.
In
a
the Indian
well-paid
night.
civil servant.
Indian night was the worst.
Yeah.
That was I remember now.
Not because of Indians, by the way. They're fine.
No, it was good. We were going to go to it's a true blue schnitzel place.
Germany. But it was full.
But it was full. So we went to this Indian place instead. Yeah, I was severely depressed throughout that entire experience.
I did notice that.
Yeah, man, you were just staring off into space. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't for the longest time. I couldn't join into like the. I couldn't join in this conversation that was happening on the left side of the table or the right side of the table because I was in the middle.
Which is always a yeah.
I had a fine dinner, and
Yeah.
I was talking with Doc.
Yeah, you're talking about a foreign policy.
With
Yeah.
Mr. Dog, well-paid civil servant who also paid for our whole meal. Shout out to him,
Wait, oh yeah. Wait, hold on, Mr. Dog.
Mr. Dog.
Dog Hammershowed.
I guess, yeah.
Is he like the NATO guy?
No, he
he's
was
UN.
the General Secretary of the UN
Close enough.
back in the day. But yeah, then my stomach just got weird. I guess it's the food, the ethnic food. And
The Arab food.
then we were just breakfast clubbing in our room with Ein, which isn't the
Yeah.
best.
Oh, wait. Is this the night that we had where we like asked Ein what he wanted to do when he grew up, or that might have been another night as well.
No.
Let me see.
No, it was the night after that.
That was Saturday. Yeah, I've got that here.
That we hung out with. That we actually got to have some boy time.
Yeah, it was the
Gallo and Yarrow.
it was GY Wheat.
Yeah.
Gallo, Yarrow, William, Ernest, Ein, and Torsten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was nice.
The six.
I drank some of Yarrow's beer. You know, I can't have all that.
Oh yeah.
I got like a little tipsy, and we talked about a bunch of shit. The children's car park.
I don't know how we got to that.
Wait, no. What was the children's car park again?
I don't even know. Alan said something stupid about the children's car park.
No, it was something like exposing yourself. Yeah, Yarrow was like, it must have been we were talking about like things that gets you cancelled or something like that. And he said, exposing yourself in the children's car park.
Yeah.
Which I mean, the first four words make sense, but then why a car park?
No, it's just the fact that it seems the word order is a bit out of place. 'Cause if you just changed the apostrophe S to like in a car park, then it would make sense. But like,
In the children's car park. we all know it. And children's car. It kind of it creates the image of like a car park full of those little tykes cars. And a man exposing himself in the middle of it.
I mean, it was so fucking funny. Yarrow was like, I have like some beer on the balcony in the girls' room, and I just went there and I brought it, and I had to. But,
exactly.
I love buying alcohol in Germany. It's so cheap
yeah.
and it's so accessible.
Yeah, it's nothing like Sweden. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Which one was the day that we ran into the porn?
The porn.
that was
Like
that
porno
was-
mags.
Yeah, there was. No, that was
That was after Sachsenhausen.
that was Sachsenhausen. Yeah, it was.
yeah.
No, in
That was-
Germany, they have a lot of porn. They have a lot of porno mags. They're generally way less shy about selling porno mags.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just a way more open culture. Yeah.
I was in Munich when I was 12, and I just like ran across some like sex shop with big ass windows.
Well, to be
Yeah,
fair,
it's
there
like
is
Amsterdam.
there is a sex shop on Östgötagatan which I used to walk past every day, and I literally didn't notice it existed for like 3 years.
I think I watched them.
Yeah,
Just
it's
blend
called-
it.
That was
it's
like
called-
toys and shit. But
it's called-
this one had like lingerie and like dominatrix outfits
Yeah.
on like mannequins.
Yeah, shout out to Love Toys Stockholm.
Love Toys Stockholm. Yeah, I remember biking past that on my way to school.
Yeah. Hold on, where were we? Children's Car Park. Yeah,
We're on
yeah,
the
yeah,
night of the 14th. That's Saturday, and that's
That
we're
was
getting
following
ahead of
the-
ourselves because
That was following the topography of terror.
Yeah, which I found this a bit of a drag, but it's partially just because I was in kind of a depressed mood.
I definitely
At the
noticed
time.
that.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I could explain also why I did find it a drag, kind of because of the tour guide. I think he was like a smart guy
Yeah,
the tour-
and everything. I at first he was kind of unenthusiastic.
he made a very good impression on me. Like,
yeah, he's like a. It's kind of like a Vsauce character in a way.
Sort of, yeah, like German visas. I
Yeah.
mean, he had a thick German accent.
Except
and
not
he-
quite as charismatic.
He said like yes, in between everything.
Yeah, every sentence was like.
Yeah, we never talked about this.
Surely you have had mathematics class, yes. You have seen the order of operations, yes.
A uniform signifies rank. Yes. He's a genius. No hate.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a very good TOK. It was a very good
Yeah.
TOK
I
thing.
mean, the dude studied philosophy and mathematics, so
And on
Julia
that-
should
on
have a
that
beer with
day,
him.
I had no breakfast, and I was like,
I mean, breakfast was a very loose concept on this trip.
yeah, but in this case, I had it like once or twice, but in this case, I just didn't have it at all, and I didn't really eat well the previous night either.
I only had one proper breakfast, and that was when we had the breakfast vouchers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a buffet in the hotel,
Yeah.
which is pretty nice.
But yeah, I was like on the verge of keeling over. I was like so out of it. So I went down with Ein, just ran in the middle of the tour because there was a break.
Yeah.
We ran down to get to a grocery store, and we bought an economy-sized bag of Cheez-Its.
Yes, that was our lunch.
Meanwhile, I had a pincer.
And of course, we ate this inside the Topography of Terror.
Yeah, which you were worried that would be like offensive.
Yeah, but I mean, they did have a cafeteria there, and
Yeah.
that's where we ate most of it.
You are a very respectful guy, William.
No, I was just thinking of the gif of the guy like eating chips out of a bag very loudly.
Yeah.
Just imagine this. Just imagine that like doing that in front of the tour guide. If we didn't do that, that would have been funny.
And I bought a pizza-looking thing called a pincer.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like a stupid version of pizza, I guess.
And then we went to some fucking. Then we had like a little. Then after the Topography of Terror, we went with some bohemians, just to some places. Went to a souvenir shop.
We went to Checkpoint Charlie,
Yeah,
and
the
that
souvenir
was
shop.
interesting because there was a pro-Russian demonstration going on.
Yeah.
Like
Go, Army,
right
go
at
home.
this historical landmark. And Arrow just
Yeah.
said like, "Go to hell."
Yeah, he said.
I mean, I get it.
He said, "You all deserve hell." and then some American, I guess, turned around and was like, "Oh yeah, hey."
I mean, the guy asked, "Do y'all know what this is about?" He did.
Well, what the fuck do you think it's about?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess there was like a Russian flag, I think, at one point, but then also the van had like "Go Army, go home" on the side of it.
Go
Go Army, go home.
Say go whammy.
No, Go Army. You know, like the song
Yeah.
by but what's his name? The famous German songwriter.
No idea.
And we went to this thing that I was like totally unfamiliar with, which is like a pharmacy-looking ass thing that also has like drinks.
Oh yeah, that place.
Apparently big in Poland and such.
Yeah, apparently it was like
Like Slavic
sort
thing.
of high end as well.
Forget what
Yeah,
it was called.
and they had like wine and shit, like all the drinks.
All the drinks. And also.
And I was like, "Where the fuck the bread at?"
And
And they
also-
were like, "Why are you looking for bread? This is a pharmacy."
That's true. And they also have some truly awful CDs.
Yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about that. They had like the worst CD collection in history.
I hope I have a picture of that, but I probably don't.
Oh my God.
Pull up the picture, Jamie.
I hope I have it.
Um,
Whatever.
Then after that we went to the record store.
Yeah.
And then during the record store, two of them split off to go clothes shopping.
Yeah.
But then they came back.
And I bought Cypress Hill debut and Pearl Jam bootleg live record.
Which you later talked to JP about.
Yes.
By the way, the ESSIA is finally in.
Yeah.
In case you're listening, JP, only you can hear this part.
Of
See,
course,
students.
he heard the sound of angels as we came to school. Yeah.
Do you have a picture?
Picture? Unfortunately not.
Oh man,
I
I think one of them is like top 50 European hits, classics, etc.
Yeah, and then like bird sounds.
And then like Musik für den Kinder. Fünfmal, sechsmal.
One record that was like a double album that was just classics, just like random songs.
Classics.
The first song was like "Stand by Me" by Ben King.
I think they had like
Classics, and it was like the album cover was like an old, like sort of oldish woman standing in a field.
the Aryan German image. I
Oh
think
my God.
they had like an audio book of the Bible or something. Yeah.
Yeah, just so great.
Oh yeah, it was a Turkish record shop as well. So they had a whole section of like
Turkish music.
World music.
Guys, they made
And
Altan Goon into a whole genre,
Yeah,
Yeah.
into a whole country.
and
I thought it was Dutch.
the fucking guy who owned the record store and his friend were there, and they both had their like babies out. And Ian just started talking to them because he had no music to buy. He doesn't listen to music.
He listens
He listens to like chants and shit.
Yeah. He listens to Those Were the Days.
and ain't I right?
Yeah.
Right.
And Urta just bought like a bunch of records, and she managed to find like all these great albums that I just didn't see. So she has a great eye.
Like what?
Like fucking Miseducation with Lauryn Hill.
You mentioned Turkey. I'm sorry, we're going back and forth in this narrative a lot, but the doner kebabs, which were a recurring theme.
Yeah, I mean we had 2 doner kebabs. One had a place after Sachsenhaus, and that wasn't Riem Gemüse. It wasn't like that.
It was Tor Kebab.
And
the Google reviews said, "I will sell my soul for this kebab."
Just putting this out there, I wouldn't.
No, it was okay. To be honest, I don't have enough of an ear for telling the difference really between.
Wouldn't it be a mouth?
Yeah, but it's metaphor. Between like telling the difference between this and say Riem Gemüse. I think the fact that we did go to this kebab shop before the day that we went to Riem Gemüse did kind of diminish Riem Gemüse a bit.
I don't think so. I definitely enjoyed what I ate at Riem Gemüse more.
Yeah, it's the same for me. And just while I was there, I think the combination of Sachsenhausen and existing depression, I was just like so fucking out of it that I couldn't like pass anything that was happening. So I think you might have noticed during the ordering process.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was a bit of a
And I talked to Abby and Paul about
bit of
music.
Bit of a waking nightmare.
We were talking to them about the Pixies.
And they invited me to their fucking like music quiz thing they go to at the base here with Charlotte. So I guess that's an open book.
That's a
right.
read. Yeah.
We have the Sunday thing where we just went to Riem Gemüse.
That was really the final full day of the trip that we're on now.
But I mean, we also went to. There was also like the fairs. Wait, no.
The fairs were on Sunday.
Yeah.
The flea markets.
Do you call them fairs? No, flea markets.
Flea markets.
It was like this urban area of flea markets.
Yeah,
it was a bad area.
There was one like close to our hotel, and then there's one right at the wall.
Next to this big.
Which I had been to before with my dad.
There was just so many band markets, so much bullshit.
Yeah, and I mean, and it was very uninteresting to someone who didn't want to buy anything.
I mean, I did want to buy some CDs, but there were no CDs. There were only vinyl.
There were only vinyls.
Only vinyl.
And I had already bought CDs as it were, so you know. But we did see a guy playing various songs on his guitar.
Yeah, he did fake plastic trees.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and
Piano Man.
Yeah, on a guitar.
I mean, you said that he couldn't really sing. I think that he could. He was just using his powers for evil. He was doing that thing where he harmonized with himself, even though there was no like main vocal line. So it just sounded really stupid at certain points. Like, this is not the melody. Why are you not singing it? It sounds vaguely like the melody, but like, sing the melody, please.
I think Tentacruel talked about this, didn't he?
Yes, in the Hallelujah video. Tentacruel. We keep mentioning Tentacruel to you.
I mean, I've seen some of his videos.
He's a great YouTuber. You should watch him.
Yeah, not the Pokemon. He's a man.
Tentacruel.
Yeah. Videos about music.
Yeah.
And reification.
I mean, and then we went to Riem Gemüse, straight street from Google Maps.
Oh yeah.
We actually did sell our soul for this because there was a bit of a line, and I had to go and get cash. And for me as a Swede, of course, handling cash is a big novelty.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went to this like room where there was a bunch of ATMs, and
room
this,
101.
and there was like a bum at the door, it just open and close for everyone. I guess that's a great like begging method. Just go to where the money is.
Go to where the cash is.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the classic 1997 Australian comedy, The Castle.
I fucking need to watch that shit, man.
Yeah. This has been a recurring joke, not in Berlin, just for a long time. I just occasionally compare things to this classic 1997 film.
It doesn't have anything to do with what's it called, the Kafka book, The Castle. I can imagine.
Is it about like a court case?
No, it's about a court case. It showed up in one of the ISIS.
So I should have just called it The Trial.
The Trial. No. They knew what they were being accused of, and they were the ones doing the suit. Well, it's a different story. But basically, there's a scene in that film where he's talking about cash, and he uses an ethnic slur about cash. It's quite funny.
Yeah, I mean, you sent me that. It was funny.
Yes, and then, I mean,
then I just did work. I worked with my Swedish IO.
Yes, because you had not had the foresight to completely finish it beforehand, before the trip.
It just didn't come to me. And I did it. I did the work on the trip, and then I practiced, and then I did it with IO. So I did nothing wrong.
A lot of people were actually doing work on the trip. It's quite strange that me and William were the ones who didn't bring our computers. But you know.
Yeah, because
I had to pack lightly.
Oh yeah,
I didn't pack my computer either. I didn't have space.
I was very concerned about space. but apparently it just wasn't the problem.
No,
I don't know why.
it really wasn't.
They just didn't bother to check, really.
Yeah, I mean, because what was it, EasyJet and the other one? SAS, yeah, they have all these totalitarian measures of restricting the size that your bags could be.
And then they just didn't check. They just didn't fucking check. They just said it, it looked right.
Which we're glad about, because, we were probably pushing the limit anyway, but some other people definitely
so why I should have bought my computer then, because like I can't do work without a computer. I just can't do work on this fucking thing.
I don't think it really diminished the quality of the trip, though, that I didn't have my computer.
But after I'd done the work and listened to some Ben's band, we went to this awesome restaurant that was really just a parody of itself. It was this like unimaginably huge like Bavarian just place.
This was like the climax of the whole event.
Yeah, it was really like the land of excess.
It was like O'Leary's, but instead of being like a German, instead of being like an American sports bar, it was
Bostonian.
It was a Bavarian beer hall, but it's already in Germany.
Yeah,
and I mean the thing is, it was kind of inauthentic. It was literally just in the middle of this street next to these like skyscrapers.
Yeah,
and near Karl Marx. So really.
It wasn't in Bavaria. It was clearly made for tourists.
Yeah.
Who go to Berlin thinking, I want the classical German shit.
Yeah, and also
but
like
the food was decent, you know.
Yeah, the food was decent, but also
nothing special really.
Even O'Leary's was better than this, because they didn't even fucking try. It was like you were eating inside like a giant warehouse that was dressed up a bit like a Bavarian beer hall.
Yeah,
and like an Indian guy with lederhosen just came.
Yeah.
Of course, I had a beer, and Yarrow did, and then Yarrow had an even bigger beer that was like a liter.
Yeah, he had this.
That is just like passed around.
Pint.
But there was like a couple guys doing their best at live music.
Oh
the dance floor. That was very funny.
Yeah, there was a live band with consisting of two
guys
on.
No, that's fine.
It was a live band consisting of two guys on keyboards covering the classic pop hits.
And when we said we were from Sweden, they just played Dancing Queen, and everyone went crazy.
I didn't recognize the songs at first. I thought they were like traditional German standards at first.
I think some of them were. It was all over the place.
Being played in these like really awful like MIDI keyboard things.
Yeah, with this like these backing tracks.
I mean, I did this amazing thing where I just like initiated like a can thing. That just kind of became a big thing that everyone joined in on. And this Brazilian guy just came to our table and he was like, "You're all good dancers? You? Pointing at me? Great! Come to Brazil!
Come to Brazil! It happens in real life to come to Brazil."
Yeah.
So I noticed after the first song, so I'm going to go back in time here, that they started playing Take Me Home, Country Roads.
They did. And we sang along to that.
Which was...
But they were not speaking. They were speaking Simlish, man. They were like,
But then they played the song from Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
And everyone who was there will remember we did the Dirty Dancing thing where we lifted up Astrid.
The I've had the time of my life.
That was very funny.
The baffling transition.
Yeah, that's also time to prove.
You guys want chips?
Yeah,
sure. I realized I had this.
This will be
this fuck off bowl.
I think last episode we had chips.
Yeah, no, I think the Dirty Dancing song kind of became a bit of a song of the trip.
Sort of, yeah. It's like the theme song. Yeah.
The theme song, or at least in the end, it was.
The time of
my
life.
It's the retroactive theme song, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly something I remember. I mean, of course, for us, it's going to be Californication as well.
Oh yeah, Karl Marx. Sorry, I just remembered Karl Marx later.
It's fine. It's
so we'll get to it later.
It's a non-chronological narrative.
The songs were great. At first, like the girls and the Bohemians to a lesser extent, like just dragged everyone off to go dancing, and then I and Ernest and then Paul stayed behind.
Kind of, awkwardly at the table.
Yeah, it was very awkward.
I was dancing. I was fun.
Yeah, but then we got a second chance, and I went up as well, and that was great. That was a great experience. You didn't go, but that's fine.
I went up and I kind of tried. Gallo kind of he kind of took me and swung me around a bit, and I just kind of decided this wasn't really for me, this whole dancing thing, to be honest. Not in this context. Because it was a bit awkward, but yeah.
I mean, it's straight up not awkward if you buy it as a non-awkward thing.
Yeah. I mean, like, to be fair, everyone was there, and like it was actually really easy to follow along because like somehow they all had a choreography agreed upon for Dancing Queen.
Yeah, I mean that's
it's like musicals, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know.
It was.
They seem to just kind of go much more naturally
Yeah.
than I'm capable of doing
Remember
it.
in
And I just feel
M10
kind of
M10
awkward.
when Dave made us watch
West Side
Story?
Yeah.
And people couldn't take it seriously because it's a musical. But like, because like, well, this wouldn't happen in real life. This isn't like adhere to the conventions I know. Bitch, it happens in real life. It happens in real life.
I mean, I actually like West Side Story a lot, and it was great to see Dave like finally enjoy something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
Although I feel bad for him, like with us as an audience, and he even said that we were like a better audience than others he had, which kind of I don't want to think, don't want to try and imagine what other classes were like.
See, you should have seen the kind of audiences I had back in Philadelphia, you know,
Yes, it's
like Pennsylvania.
well, back in Pennsylvania when I was the big cheese. $10 word, Pennsylvania.
$10 word, Pennsylvania. Count it in your hands.
I mean, it's a place.
Pennsylvania. Oh my God, this might be 5 syllables even.
And of course, after this thing, we had our concluding jamboree.
Yeah, so I mean the day wasn't bad. I mean I guess this is where the whole swing set, is that what you called it? Theory?
The seesaw.
Seesaw theory kind of fell apart because the day was, you know, pretty fine. I guess, and yet we still had a good night. I think it was all kind of dampened a bit because it was the end of the trip.
Yeah.
And that made it inherently a bit depressing.
Well, I was drunk, so I couldn't be depressed.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and the Bavaria thing kind of ended with like this big, tearful like thank you to Abby.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was...
And like, you know, just everyone like pondering their like
Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know...
Oh, that was a good.
All things must pass.
That was a good area.
Yeah.
I guess it was, yeah.
And then we just went to like some. Then after that, we just went to some like store where I just like walked in with my change from the Riam Gemüse, and I just took 2 beers, €4, and just
I got 2 beers, one for the plug, one for the load. What is that? What was it again?
It's one for the plug, one for the load.
One for the plug, one for the load.
Yeah. Okay. And so. And if I can talk about the area for a moment, the area where the Bavaria thing was around, what's the name of the square? Alexanderplatz?
Yeah.
Alexanderplatz.
Which is a big construction site right now, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah. It's a pretty monumental square. But then next to it, near to it at least, is the monumental socialist boulevard, Karl Marx Allee, which in fact is kind of the whole reason why we went to Berlin. Because I was talking about how my IA was going to be about how the architectural East and West Berlin. And then people just thought, hey, why don't we go to Berlin?
What was Abby went off for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was
outside of the classroom
yeah, we can do it.
We could go to Berlin, you know?
Yeah.
We could do that. This was back in September?
Yeah, but I actually only visited Karl Marx Allee once. It was in the morning of the third day maybe. I went with Ein to go to Karl Marx Allee, and
You went with me.
Was it you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it was you. And then it was a good experience. It truly is Europe's last great street.
Yeah, I think we have to thank William for being the butterfly effect that started this whole thing in the first place by choosing his IA, by getting into city planning and architecture and choosing it as his IA.
Well, actually, the beginning of that whole geography / city planning arc of my existence, that began with the Satera quiz. Wow, holy cow. What's his name?
Eric Berridge.
Eric Berridge gave us.
We must thank Eric Berridge for this.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. Hey. So yeah, and then do we have anything more to say? I mean,
no, not really.
Night
came. We
talked.
talked.
We did charades, but it wasn't really charades. It was just this weird app that you put a word on your head and then people.
And you hummed songs.
Yeah, it didn't work at all.
No, it was weird, and then. Yeah.
But it was all vibes. We were all dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a bit melancholic, I think.
Because it was the end.
Oh, just in general, but yeah, it was the end.
It's the Weltschmerz. Yeah.
I was kind of spouting my doomerism.
Yeah, I mean, Weltschmerz. It's a word.
Weltschmerz.
Yeah.
I mean, or doomerism.
I think that was the one night that I did actually get kind of, intoxicated. This was fun. I don't get it. It didn't last at all.
I mean, of course, I had my incident with the tooth.
Oh yeah, Torsten.
In the pursuit of beer.
You're like breaking open a bottle with your mouth or something.
Almost this that I took it too quickly.
So
I lost a bit of my tooth. But I'm gonna go see someone about that.
Yeah. So overall, that was the trip to Berlin, and we went back home the next day, middle of the day.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we didn't have a chance to really do anything else. We just cleaned up the rooms and went to the airport, took the flight, and that was it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It was a bit.
It was a blast. Berlin was a blast.
And we managed to get almost an hour and 20 minutes
of recording.
An hour and 20 minutes. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So
Whole story.
I feel like we should
do you think we should do the song?
do the song. I don't know.
I think we have to. We kind of have to, but also it's getting a bit late.
Oh, that's fine. But
I mean, it's like 5 p.m. Who fucking cares? It's the weekend.
Yeah. No school, bitches. I mean, it's not like
And also, there's no school in
is
general
at night.
because exam preparing season is kind of begin.
Oh yeah, that is a downer. Yeah, we've been missing more and more. Well, it's like every week for the past few weeks. There's been at least one or two just days where we don't have school for various reasons. I mean, partially because I've been ill, which was kind of due to the Berlin trip. There was a bit of an illness that spread around.
Yeah, the Berlin plague. I kept calling it the Berlin plague, but no one seemed to latch on to Berlin as an explanation for it, which I think is a bit strange.
I think
So it was definitely Berlin. I caught it from Astrid.
Yeah, Astrid was the source, I think, and Yarrow had it as well, something like that. Some sort of illness.
Yeah, I mean, everyone likes sharing bottles and stuff.
Of course.
That was a bit gross to me, and of course that was probably
Are you a hypochondriac?
What?
Are you a hypochondriac?
What?
Is that what it's called? when you're really concerned about bacteria?
No, I just do find it gross to be drinking from the same bottle as someone who's related is debatable, but to be fair, Berlin did kind of already have a gross atmosphere. Everyone was not fully taking care of themselves.
And
obviously.
all the
we were drinking from the same bottle.
Yeah.
Going outside and smelling that Zaza.
Yeah, so I wasn't a big fan of that, but that was at least part of the reason why the Berlin plague spread like it did.
Yeah.
Hypochondriac, someone who lives with the fear that they have a serious but undiagnosed medical condition.
No, that's I think you just mean germaphobe.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's
Which
the word.
increased drastically during COVID. Yeah.
Clearly. Do we do the song?
I don't know. How would we do it?
Yeah, I don't even know.
I mean, I could play it on guitar, but that's gonna miss all the drums and synths and shit.
Oh, so. You play it here.
Yeah, but
I could.
What?
I don't know how I feel about doing a whole vocal thing right now. To be honest,
we haven't even finished the lyrics, to be honest. But we can do it. Let's go.
No, here's an idea. Here's an
I don't
idea.
know if we
We record the song at some other point, and then we put that on the channel.
Oh,
editing magic. Yeah, we could. Yeah, sure.
The song is gonna come.
Yeah, all right. So, in conclusion, so watch out for the incoming Infinite Enjoyment Pod debut single, Berlinification.
I mean, don't hold us to that promise. It'll probably take another few months, if anything.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we'll see. Anyway.
Yeah, it's all about what you bring to the table. It's all about the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
We can easily do it.
So, you know, I think we've touched on everything really, and you know, it was nuanced, but you know, it was it was big. Yeah, and if anyone asks what happened in Berlin, we could just send them this video, you know.
Yeah, and have them watch the entirety.
Yeah, and have them ignore the parts that are clearly made up, guys.
Yeah.
Clearly made up for...
Such as the last hour and a half, all made up. Yeah.
No, we didn't actually go to Berlin.
No,
we went to Copenhagen.
It was just an excuse to skip school for like 7 days.
Yeah, exactly.
We were just in a basement.
Yeah. Just in the same basement we're in now, and have been for so many years.
All right. Okay, so closing. Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. Yeah. We're all gonna die. Synecdoche, nihilism.
To counter that, you look beautiful tonight. Optimism.
Let me take you home tonight.
Optimism.
Taylor Swift.
I think that is synthesis achieved, and so
that is infinite enjoyment pod forever.
Yeah. All right. So, thanks guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you never.
Fuck you.
Yeah.